Hey everyone, it's Megan, your Reference and Adult Services librarian at the Ames Free Library. Whether you made the resolution to read more in 2021, or you're just looking to add some variety to what you've been reading lately, join us for the Winter Reading Bingo Challenge. We have bingo cards for readers of all ages, and the more you read, the more opportunity you have to earn special limited edition library buttons. The program runs through March 20th, so join us today and start reading. Today, I want to recommend some titles that you can read to fit one of the categories on the adult bingo card. Read a thriller or mystery. Now, at the AFL, we know that a lot of our readers love thrillers or mysteries already, so chances are this is probably a very easy category for many of you. But if it's not a genre that you read regularly, or you're just looking for some recommendations for titles that you may not have heard of before, stay tuned. Because thrillers and mysteries are so popular at AFL, the first two titles I want to recommend today were actually among our most circulated in 2020. The first being The River Murders by James Patterson and James O. Bourne. Now, this title is a compilation of 3 of Patterson's bookshot novellas, so their stories are connected, but you can dive in and out of them for a few hours at a time. These stories focus on the character of Mitchum, who is a Navy SEAL dropout who continually finds himself having to protect those that he loves. The teaser line is, "Sometimes figuring out the truth means going to the point of no return." For Mitchum, returning isn't something he concerns himself with. So this would be a great pick if you're looking for a book that you can dive into for a few hours, then set it aside and come back and have the same characters but maybe a different story when you return to it. The next title I want to recommend is The Guardians by John Grisham. This lawyer turned author is synonymous with the legal thriller, and this is a standalone title that was released in 2020. It follows Quincy Miller, an African-American man who was wrongfully convicted of murdering his former lawyer 22 years ago. He reaches out to Guardian Ministries, a nonprofit similar to the Innocence Project, and hopes that they will take on his case. Cullen Post, the lawyer and Episcopal minister who founded the nonprofit, begins working to investigate and hopefully exonerate him, but discovers that there was a powerful group of people behind that murder 22 years ago, and they will stop at nothing to keep the truth from coming out. In its review of the book, the Associated Press called it a suspenseful thriller mixed with powerful themes and said that it had first-rate characters. So whether you are new to John Grisham or you're just looking to pick up his latest, check this one out. The next title I want to recommend is When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. This one has been billed as Rear Window meets Get Out. It follows Brooklyn native Sydney Green, and she is very troubled by the gentrification she is seeing in her beloved neighborhood. And it seems like overnight, the neighbors that she has grown up with her entire life are just disappearing. And as she is doing research for historic walking tours, she uncovers something that suggests that there could be something more sinister and more deadly going on behind all of these moves, and that her neighbors might not just be moving out to the suburbs, they may be disappearing altogether. This title received starred reviews from Booklist and Publishers Weekly, and it has been getting a lot of buzz. Alyssa's name may be familiar to you. She has previously been an author of historical, contemporary, and sci-fi romances, but this is her first foray into the mystery and thriller genre. The next title I want to recommend is The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie by Alan Bradley. This title won the Agatha Award for Best First Novel in 2009, and it introduces us to 11-year-old Flavia Deleuze, an aspiring chemist and amateur sleuth. Now, this takes place in 1950s England, and Flavia comes across a man dying in her family's cucumber patch, and she is determined to solve the mystery. Now, if you're unsure about a young sleuth, let me give you this teaser line from Flavia. She says, "I wish I could say I was afraid, but I wasn't. Quite the contrary. This was by far the most interesting thing that had ever happened to me in my entire life." So if you are interested in your mysteries mixed with a little humor, try this one because Flavia will have you in stitches. For my last recommendation, I'm going to take it even further back to a title that was first released in 1988. The Eight by Catherine Neville is perfect if you want something that has the action of the Da Vinci Code with the puzzle solving of the Netflix series The Queen's Gambit. The Eight centers on the Montglain Service, a chess set that once belonged to Charlemagne and is believed to hold the keys to an immense power. It follows two timelines, one taking place in the 1790s in France with a young nun at the Montglain Abbey who, along with her cousin, is trying to scatter the pieces of this chess set across the globe so that no one can possess it and possess the power that it has. And the second timeline follows a computer expert in 1972 who has been asked by an antiques dealer to search for the pieces of this set. As you can imagine, there is a lot of intrigue. There are features of historical figures like Napoleon and Catherine the Great, and it's full of puzzles to solve. At the time it was released, one of the reviews compared it to a female Indiana Jones. So if you want something that's a little bit of a throwback like that, give that one a try. Those are all the recommendations I have today, but it doesn't have to end here. Head over to our website for more resources to help you find your next great read. If you're looking for a mystery or thriller, check out our mystery book club page to see what the club is reading this year. You might find some inspiration there. You can also check out the Read Alike Author Porch, part of our new virtual reading rooms. On the porch, you'll be able to pull a book by an author off the shelf and get recommendations for similar authors. And you can always go to our Reader's Advisory form to get personalized recommendations based on books and TV shows you already love. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you again soon. Happy reading.